Have you ever done something just to prove you weren't afraid and ended up changing your life forever? The day my coworkers dared me to ask my boss out, I thought it would be nothing more than an embarrassing joke, a quick laugh, a story we'd tease each other about for years. I never imagined that 5 simple words from her would shake my world. I've been waiting for you to say that. Before we dive in, if you love real emotional stories that remind you how powerful kindness can be, make sure you subscribe to your channel name, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories just like this one. Now let me tell you what really happened. I work in a small marketing firm just outside of Chicago. Nothing fancy, just a tight-knit team of about 20 people who spend more time together than with our own families. We share coffee breaks, birthday cakes, and the occasional office drama. It's the kind of place where everyone knows when you've had a bad morning before you even sit down. Our boss, Emily Carter, wasn't what you'd expect from a company director. She wasn't cold or intimidating. She didn't bark orders or hide behind a closed office door. She was the type who brought homemade cookies on Fridays and remembered your dog's name. When my dad had surgery last year, she was the first person to quietly hand me a card signed by the entire team. Emily had this calm way about her. When she spoke, people listened not because they were scared, but because they respected her. She led with kindness. And without even realizing it, I had started to look forward to our brief morning chats more than anything else in my day. I never planned to develop feelings for my boss. It just happened. At first, it was small things. The way she stayed late to help a junior employee fix a presentation. The way she never took credit for other people's ideas. The way she once drove an intern home during a snowstorm because she didn't want her taking the train alone. Kindness has a way of sneaking up on you. It makes someone glow in a way that's hard to ignore. Still, she was my boss. There were boundaries, professional lines you don't cross. So I buried the feelings. I convinced myself it was admiration, nothing more. Then came the dare. It was a Thursday afternoon. We had just landed a huge client, and the office was buzzing. After work, a few of us went to a nearby bar to celebrate. Laughter filled the air, and someone ordered too many nachos. The mood was light, almost reckless. That's when Jake, my coworker and self-appointed office troublemaker, leaned over and said, "You know she likes you, right?" I nearly choked on my drink. "Who?" "Emily," he said, grinning. "It's obvious, the way she looks at you in meetings." "Come on!" The others chimed in, teasing me. I laughed it off, but my heart started pounding. She's my boss. That's insane. "Then prove it," Jake said. "Ask her out. If she says no, we'll never bring it up again." It was meant to be a joke. A challenge fueled by beer and bravado, but something about it stuck with me. That night, lying in bed, I replayed every interaction I'd had with Emily over the past year. The extra few seconds shed linger when we talked, the way her smile softened sometimes. Had I imagined it? The next morning, I walked into the office determined to forget the whole thing. But fate had other plans. Around lunchtime, Emily knocked lightly on my cubicle wall. "Got a minute?" she asked. We stepped into a small conference room. She closed the door gently and sat across from me. "I just wanted to say how proud I am of you," she said. "You handled the Harrison account beautifully. You've grown so much this year." Her words meant more to me than any bonus ever could. I thanked her, trying to keep my voice steady. As we stood to leave, there was a pause. A quiet, almost electric moment. My heart pounded so loud I was sure she could hear it. That was it. The dare echoed in my head. Before I could talk myself out of it, I blurted out, "Would you ever want to get coffee with me?" Like, not as my boss. The second the words left my mouth, I wanted to disappear. My face burned. I stared at the floor, bracing myself for the awkward apology I'd have to give. There was silence. Then I heard her laugh softly. I looked up, terrified. She wasn't angry. She wasn't shocked. She was smiling. "I've been waiting for you to say that," she said. For a moment, the world stopped. I blinked. "What?" She took a breath. "I've felt it too. But I didn't want to put you in an uncomfortable position. And as your boss, it wasn't appropriate for me to say anything." I could hardly process her words. Relief flooded through me, followed by disbelief. "So, that's a yes?" She nodded. "That's a yes. But we need to do this the right way." And that's exactly what we did. Emily immediately contacted HR. She requested that I be reassigned to another department to avoid any conflict of interest. She was transparent, professional, and careful. That's who she was, kindness and integrity in every decision. 2 weeks later, I officially reported to a different manager. Our first date was simple, a small coffee shop downtown. No fancy dinner, no dramatic gestures. Just two people who had spent months pretending not to notice what was right in front of them. We talked for hours. About childhood dreams, about failures, about the risks we were afraid to take. She told me how lonely leadership can feel sometimes. I told her how much her encouragement had meant to me during my dad's surgery. At one point, she reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "You know," she said, "kindness isn't weakness. People think being gentle makes you soft, but it's the hardest thing to choose every day." That sentence stayed with me. Our relationship grew slowly, carefully, built not on secrets or drama, but on mutual respect. The office gossip faded once everyone saw we had handled it professionally. Jake never let me forget the dare, of course. He still claims he deserves a wedding invitation credit. But what changed me most wasn't the romance. It was the courage. For years, I had played it safe, kept my head down, avoided risks. That one small, terrifying question taught me something powerful. Sometimes the biggest opportunities in life are waiting on the other side of fear. And kindness was at the center of it all. If Emily hadn't led with kindness as a boss, I never would have admired her. If she hadn't handled the situation with integrity, things could have fallen apart. If I hadn't believed in her goodness, I never would have taken that chance. Kindness builds trust. Trust builds courage. Today, 2 years later, we're still together. We don't work in the same department, and we keep our professional lives separate. But every morning, when I see her making coffee in our kitchen, I am reminded of that moment in the conference room. 5 words changed everything. "I've been waiting for you to say that." Sometimes we assume we're alone in how we feel. We assume rejection. We assume the worst. But what if more people are waiting for us to speak up with honesty, with respect, with kindness? I am not saying you should ask your boss out. Life isn't a romantic comedy. But I am saying this: don't underestimate the power of a kind heart and a brave question. You never know who you're inspiring just by being good. You never know who's watching the way you treat others. And you never know when a small act of courage will open the door to something beautiful. If this story moved you, let it remind you to lead with kindness this week. Say the words you've been holding back. Compliment someone. Forgive someone. Take a risk rooted in respect and honesty. Because sometimes, the life you're hoping for is quietly waiting for you to speak up. And when you do, you might just hear the words that change everything. I've been waiting for you to say that. Spread kindness. It comes back in ways you'll never expect.